China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin has denied China's ongoing genocide in East Turkestan and tried to distort the fact. Despite the evidence of ongoing mass rapes in concentration camps, forced labor camps, and forcibly removing Uyghur children from their home, he repeated the Chinese Communist Party propaganda and said Uyghurs are enjoying their life and work and living happily. He has denied all of the evidence and said it's groundless. He further stated anti-China forces in the West fabricate the evidence.
PPT 长期以来在意识形态领域恶意的攻击抹黑中国共产党和中国政府。
Contrary to China's claim, the number of Uyghurs in Western countries is very few compared to other parts of the world. Close to 1 million Uyghurs live in Central Asia, Pakistan, Malaysia, the Middle East, Eastern Europe, and Turkey. Each Uyghur in diaspora can testify that more than one family member has been arrested or they have lost contact with direct family members, relatives, and friends since China started to mass arrest in 2017. Unfortunately, many Uyghurs living in Central Asian countries or countries of a close allyship to China are afraid to give testimonies about their arrested family members since these countries threaten their safety if they speak out. More than 50 Uyghurs have protested for 48 days already in front of the Chinese embassy in Ankara and the Chinese consulate in Istanbul to demand information about their family members. They brought 6,000 arrested or disappeared families' file in front of the Chinese embassy, but China refused to answer them.
Şimdi, Çin! Ailemizi serbest bırak! Çin! Türk soykırımı durdur! Çin! Türk soykırımı durdur! Çin! Toplama kamplar kapat! Çin! Toplama kamplar kapat!
Turkey is a weak spot of China since it's a democratic country and has close blood relationship with Uyghurs. China should not have any power to silence Uyghurs and the Turkic population in Turkey. Ironically, the current Turkish government does not want to upset China and ban Uyghurs from protesting in front of the Chinese embassy right now. Many Turkish citizens are in Chinese concentration camps or Chinese prison. An Uyghur woman, a Turkish citizen, among the protesters said her sister Mevlude Nazim, a Turkish citizen, was arrested for Chinese concentration camps while she visited her family in East Turkestan. She was afraid that her sister might be facing horrific torture in China's rape camps like many other Uyghur women in East Turkestan. It has been already 4 years now she could not contact with her sister.
Siz şu an bize sahip çıkmayıp ne zaman sahip çıkacaksınız?
Ömer Faruk is also a Turkish citizen. His 4 and 5 years old two daughters, Zarife Faruk and Zahida Faruk, are disappeared in China. These kids are Turkish citizens. He is afraid that toddlers were taken into China's prison-style orphanage camps, that Uyghur kids are facing torture and abuse. His parents and brothers, who has custody and care for these kids, were arrested by the Chinese forces and sent to concentration camps. China forced every Uyghur woman outside of the concentration camp to register for forced labor work, regardless of if they have a young child. Their young kids are taken away to the so-called government facility residential daycares. Even though kids in those daycare facilities can return to home occasionally, the kids in prison-style orphanage camps are permanently locked up and no one able to see them. Kids in the daycare facilities are also faced torture and abuse. One of the Uyghur mother recently found out how Chinese daycare workers poured hot water on those kids in the facilities and tortured them. She cried and said, "I was forced to sign the contract and give my child to them."
Biz yok. İşte balını kaynak suda 5 yıl 7-8 balı varken 7-8 balını munçuk çürmen depçe kaynak suyun 5'e tekap veripti.
Ömer Faruk afraid that his kids may be currently facing torture so-called Chinese orphanage camps. The only reason China is taking them away because they were Uyghur. China is attacking every Uyghur and other Turkic Muslims in East Turkestan, regardless of their citizenship, he said. They are here to protest in front of the Chinese embassy because the Turkish government could not rescue the freedom of their own citizens. And they preventing them continue to protest. Many observers said trying to prevent those people from protesting in front of the Chinese embassy is nothing more than assisting China's denial of genocide by covering the truth. Said Dr. Erkin Ahmet from the Ankara University, whose siblings were also arrested for concentration camps and sentenced to imprisonment in China because he is living in Turkey and teaching at Turkish University. The Chinese embassy in Turkey is publishing statements every day rejecting the testimonial evidence of Uyghurs. Chinese state media are also campaigning widely around the world for the denial of China's genocide. To prove their judgment on denial of genocide, China has released few arrested Uyghurs. These Uyghurs are forced to give testimony about they had never been arrested and enjoying their life. Obviously, they can't tell the truth under the genocidal watch of China. Furthermore, China cannot release millions of detained Uyghurs, unable to answer the whereabouts of thousands of those killed in prison and the rape camps, and the more than 500,000 Uyghur children that forcibly removed from their home.